So I'm in the chicken house. One nice thing about growing chickens on deep bedding, especially once you add a little bit of moisture and get the biology going, is that you can actually grow part of the chicken's feed or food right under their own feet. So what I did here, so this kind of got covered up by the layers of mulch that I was putting in here. So I just dug this out because I want to get this free. So when I clean the chicken house out in a couple months, I'll lift this up and I'll tie it to our purlins. That way I can get it right underneath with a skid steer and scoop out. But in the process of doing that, I uncovered a whole host of life and bugs in here. See if you can see any here crawling. So you can see I don't know if you can see them. There's one right there. There's a lot of, that's a bigger one. There's a lot of smaller ones in here. There's right there, right there. You see all these? Those are actually roly-polies, or that's what a lot of people call them. I call them wood lice, but they're actually a good decomposer. So all the carbon in here, the wood chips, is a great habitat for them because they'll feed on, especially once you get a little bit of moisture, but they actually like kind of a dry, they're crustaceans, so they don't like it too wet, but they also like a little bit of moisture to go with the dryness. So if you have, like this area here was really dry where I uncovered, but the top layer is moist from absorbing the chicken manure. And just like with the water pan that I give the ducks, I'll move that around here, and the ducks will spill a lot of water, but that's okay. That actually adds to the bedding and starts the decomposition process. So having that moist layer on top and the really, really dry underneath gives a nice habitat for those wood lice. And there's a lot of, could be, there's other smaller insects in there too. I can't think of their names right now, but yeah, the chickens are just going crazy. I mean, they still have feed from today I gave them, but they definitely prefer this over this. And one reason why I like to do that today is there's snow on the ground. Even if we have our compost pile, but even if I'd open the door for them, they wouldn't go to the compost pile because they have to trek through snow. Chickens are tropical birds. They do not like to walk in snow. So that's where in here, having this deep bedding allows me, even on the cold days where they wouldn't be foraging for anything else, it allows me to give them more of a diverse diet. It gives a lot more introduction of insects into their diet, which is very high in protein. And also the wood lice, because they're crustaceans, they actually have a lot of calcium associated with them, or that's part of their makeup as well. So it helps the chickens with their eggshells, keeps their eggshells thicker. And I do have a actually it's empty now, but I do have a bin where I put oyster shells if they need it. But I usually fill that maybe once a month, and they don't really go for much. Now in a month's time it is empty, but as long as I keep them active here and searching through the wood chips, I find they don't, even if I'd add some here, there's not much gone after a week. Now if I take some time off from stirring the bedding and giving them access to those bugs down at the bottom of the mulch or the compost, I don't say compost, not really compost yet, but underneath the carbonaceous diaper, if you want to say that. If I don't do that, then yeah, they will go for the oyster shells more, because they know they need the calcium. They're going through a lot of calcium to lay eggs, and so they need to replenish that. And they are very voracious and active right now. They know they're getting something they need. So yeah, thanks for watching. That's Chicken House on a cold winter day, and how we keep our chickens healthy. And we have not lost a single. Now we have lost some chickens to a predator, That has nothing to do with the health of the chickens, just we had a rogue predator get in. However, despite that, we have not lost a single chicken to any health issue or anything this year. Now, some years we do have, especially the older chickens, they're not as robust anymore, and just from old age they might die sporadically. But we haven't had any. I mean, our chickens, the combs are a nice, vibrant red. If your chickens are sick, they'll start to get more of a maroon, or they'll be very pale. They won't be bright red. They'll be either very pale or they'll be kind of maroonish, and that's not a good sign. So yeah, they have been very, very healthy this year. And I'm not sure part of that, I have the ducks in here, so that adds a little bit more diversity in just the microbes and the bacteria that the chickens, I guess in their manure, would leave behind. And so the more diverse array of animals you have, the harder it is for those, at least the bad bacteria and microbes, whatever that would cause issues, whether it's disease or respiratory issues. It keeps them a little bit more confused as far as what host they want to go for. So I don't know if that's part of it. Another part of it is we have the water bed in here for the ducks this year, and that has added a lot more moisture to the bedding, which I've noticed this year has been much more active. It's heated up a lot better. It's been more active with just biology. As you can see, the chickens are they're still finding a lot to eat. Where a lot of times in the past there'd be a lot of areas where the bedding's not heating up at all. Yeah, you have the carbon there to absorb the manure, but you don't really have the biology there to keep a nice balance and to really incorporate the manure. The more biology you have in the soil actually helps to absorb the manure better and decompose it and break it down and neutralize it. So yeah, I don't know if that's part of it, but it has been a successful year in keeping our chickens healthy, despite what you might hear in the news, avian flu and whatnot. It can be done in a way if managed properly, to where you don't have to deal with any disease or issues. So thanks for watching. Until next time, eat well, live well.